Now let's talk about estimating profitability for potential products that you're looking to sell. So we have a really basic kind of quick and dirty ratio that you can use to understand if you have the potential of profiting on a product. And there's also other ones, like you can use Helium 10. They have a calculator to help you out with profitability. I'll leave a link to that down below as well. But just a quick and dirty number, like if I'm looking at products, so generally you want to use the rule of thirds here. So for your product, 1/3 of that could go product costs, 1/3 of it would go into shipping and Amazon fees, and then the other third could be potential profit. This is of the list price of an item. So if you're selling something for $21, and as long as you can get that product cost at about $7, your shipping and Amazon fees might be another $7, and then you can have about 1/3 profit, about $7 profit per item if you're selling it for $21. Now, this changes a lot based on the category and the type of product that you're selling, the weight of it, everything. There's a lot of factors associated with Amazon fees, but that's just something that I look at when I'm thinking about products. Another thing that's really important here is you want to make sure that you're not selling products that are too inexpensive. So if you are trying to sell a product that is $5, like you're selling it for $5, you're basically going to make no money. You may make like 25 cents. And even if you sell 100 of those, you're going to make almost nothing. So I would recommend selling products that are valued at least, at a minimum, $10, probably more like $15 or $20, so that you have room to actually make some money. Sometimes you'll see products on Amazon that, might cost $4.97. And the truth is that whoever's selling that is really not making any money. They might be making like 25 cents or 50 cents, but it's pretty bad. So try to find products that at least are $10 or $15. Obviously, the more expensive, the better. If you can sell a product for $60, you'll have a lot more wiggle room for squeezing out profitability on that product. Okay, so as I said, sourcing at least 3 to 5 samples, very important when you're getting those products. Just order as many as you can. Sometimes they can take like a month to arrive, so do this as soon as possible, because if they're coming from China or overseas, they ship them slowly on big ships and they can take a while. So order as many as you can, compare them all. It's worth it. View it as like an R&D, a research and development expense for your business, but it's going to be very, very good to do that. Okay. All right. Now let's think about tariffs here for a minute, because this is something that has come up very often as well. And what should you think about tariffs? How should you deal with them when you are selling on Amazon? And the truth is that you have an advantage here, because if you're starting off, you kind of already know the basics of what the tariffs are, or like what countries are getting high tariffs. So you have an advantage over existing Amazon sellers, because existing Amazon sellers, some of them have gotten burned and they're spending 30% or 40% in tariff fees to import their product. But what I would recommend doing, and I don't know what time you're watching this video, it seems like tariffs change every day, at least in mid 2025. So it's kind of chaotic right now. But just do some research on countries and the tariffs that are charged for each of them of importing products into your country, if you're in the United States or Canada or anywhere else in the world. But this is another reason why it could be useful to try to find a manufacturer in your own country, like in the United States. And people don't really do this because they just assume that it's going to be more expensive in the US. But there's a lot of advanced manufacturing in the States still that you can get set up and could be worthwhile. That's at least what I'm running towards right now. I think going forward in the future, it's going to be pretty complicated with tariffs, but don't let it discourage you. You can still source products from China, for example. I think right now, today, tariffs on China are like 30% or 40%, give or take. And even with that, these are just your input costs, not your final cost of a product. So if you're selling a product for $20 and it's a 30% tariff, you're not actually spending $6 on the tariff. You're just spending the money on tariffs on the cost of the product that it cost you before you're selling it. So maybe, if I bought this for $7 and there's a 30% tariff, that's going to be $2.10 tariff fee that I have to pay to the US. I won't get into the weeds there with all the math there, but you can still make it work. And a lot of other people are dealing with it at the same time. So just remember that a lot of costs of goods are going to go up, or otherwise people are going to be eating those tariffs and just having lower margin.